Okie dokie. Says that I am live right now. I don't know how well you can see me. Might be kind of dark, but we are live. I'm gonna wait for some people to get in here because we're gonna talk about some stuff that needs to be dealt with. Look at how dark it is. I'm gonna see if I can find another light or something. Give me just a second. That's bright. That's bright. No, yes, no, maybe so. We'll do it like this. Maybe that's better. What's up, Proverbs 17? Can you hear me? Hit a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I want to check. All right, great, cool. Appreciate you coming in. You number one, first one in. Wasn't I supposed to send you a T-shirt? Did you ever send me your address and I just never got it out to you? I'm not sure if I was supposed to send you a T-shirt or not. From the Christocrats, our organization. We're gonna just let me know if that was you or if it was somebody else. We're gonna get started in a little bit. Send it through text as well as your size, your shirt size. And we have red and black, I believe, is left. So we're gonna wait a little bit to get some other people in here. We got something to talk about that's pretty important that I think is going to weigh in on the future of conservatism and believers as a whole in America. If you're coming into the chat right now, if you're coming into the room, let us know you're here. I see 3 people in the chat, but I'm only seeing Proverbs 17:11. Who else is in here? Let me know. Good afternoon, good evening. How you doing? It is Sunday, the 13th. I'm excited and happy because my New York Giants they're doing so good. They're 7-2, so they are pretty much probably going to be a playoff team. That's the first time since like 10 years, man. So I'm happy about that. So we're gonna wait a little bit. I said that was gonna come on at 8 o'clock. So it's 7:55 right now. So y'all just hang tight. And so we'll see if we can get some more people in here. Share this link because I want to have this discussion. I don't want to be on here for too long, but we want to have this discussion about Donald Trump. It's kind of a heartbreaking, but can be an uplifting thing as well. Let's see here. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Am I talking loud enough? Let's get some of the guys in here. You know what? I'm going to share this link. What's up, Dan? How's it going, Dan? How's it going? Glad to see you in here, bro. Awesome. We're going to get it going in a second here. I'm going to wait until actually 8 o'clock. It's 7:56 my time. And we're gonna wait until they get in here and have a discussion that we probably need to have early. This is an early on discussion that us believers need to kind of have. And I want you guys to share this link out, share this live out. It's very important that we talk about this because a lot of us have some decisions that we got to make pretty soon here about who and how we support people. So, but as believers, we have to go about things differently than the world does. So, God bless you guys for showing up. Hang out here with me for a little bit. We're going to get the rest of the people in here. Hold on just a second. Elisha, make sure you keep Emmanuel with you. Make sure you keep him with you. At least for a little bit. I gotta make sure my little one doesn't come on in here because he will wreck shop. My little 5-year-old, he will come in and tear this whole place up. He's special needs, but this boy, we're praying and believing God for him to recover completely. He deals with autism. We don't claim autism for him, but he deals with autism. And quick little story on him is he was ahead of all of his metrics when he was born. Right when he was born, he was ahead of everything. He was already starting to try to talk like way early. He was trying to walk way early. And this is when we didn't know everything about all the stuff about shots, vaccines, or whatever. And whatever you believe about vaccines is what you believe. But we were skeptical. And the doctor pressured my wife really pressured her. I wasn't there, but really pressured my wife into getting my son the MMR, the pokey poke. And literally the next day, I'm telling you, it was night and day. 1 minute he's trying to talk, he's walking early, he's eye contact, everything, and then literally the next day it was all gone. It was gone. And you can't tell me that that didn't have anything to do with it. So we've been believing and praying and having him go to therapy, but that kid is like the light of my life, man. And runs me ragged as well. Kid runs me ragged. But hey, what's up? My sister's in here. So hang out. Make sure you hang out. Kenya, y'all say hi to my sister Kenya. We're gonna talk about this. We have to talk about it. All right, so it is 7:59. We're gonna give them another 2 minutes. Somebody get Seiko and some of those other guys and get them in here because we want to talk about this stuff. Donald Trump. How many of y'all would say that you voted for him at least one of the times? You voted for Donald Trump. Oh, yeah. Okay. Time out. This is something that we need to talk about. Dan, I did see Seiko's Navy pick when he was in the Navy. Bruh. This dude, Seiko, is my brother. He's my dude. I love him to death. But he looked like he was 5 years old in that picture. Brave man for putting it up. But salute him for service to our country. And my sister was in the Army as well. So thank you for your service to the country, although you were 4 foot nothing. But she was a little Mighty Mouse in the Army. He said, you're like a 5-year-old with a 60-year-old. That's funny. Dan, you're in the military still, right? Dan, you're still in the military right now, right? What branch are you in? My sister was in there for a while, was in the Army for a while. Glad to see y'all are coming in here. Let's get some thumbs up, some likes so it can go out to people. Yeah, she said my wife thought it was Seiko's son with a Navy uniform for Halloween. Yeah, Seiko looked like a little kid. He looked like a little kid. Going on 22 years from Army National Guard. Thank you, Dan, for your service to the country. We appreciate y'all. My sister, Seiko, whoever else was in the armed forces. They tried to get me to go in right out of high school, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna have somebody screaming in my face at 4 o'clock in the morning. So more power to y'all, man. Y'all stronger than I could have been. But if I would have went in for life. That's probably what I would have done. But anyway, hang out here for a couple seconds. We're gonna bring people in here. So let's get started. Actually, no, let's go ahead and get started. There's a couple people in here, a couple people staying. So let me show of hands or put it in the chat again. How many of y'all voted for Trump? I didn't see the last time. Voted for Trump either the first time or the second time. Put a 1 in there. Or say I did. I voted for Trump. First term or the attempt for the second term. I did. I voted for him twice. very proudly, very outspoken about being a Trump supporter. Still am a Trump supporter to a degree, but I did vote for him, and the reason why, as a Christian, I voted for him was because he actually stood for, or told us that he stood for, the principles that would support what we believe as believers and and conservatives. That's cool, Dan. Dan, you know, a lot of people did the same thing. They didn't vote for him, but they didn't vote for the Dems either. So either way, that's good. Either way, but we supported them. Those of us that supported them wholeheartedly, and we kept telling everybody. We always told everybody, and still tell everybody, that it's not about his personality. That we didn't vote for a pastor. We're not voting for someone who we believe is our best friend or big brother. Or we didn't vote for Trump because we liked him. That's the difference between us and the Democrats. They vote for people because of the cult of personality. They actually think that they know these people. They vote for them for personality's sake because they think they're cool. It's the only reason, and because that they are, a lot of them talk the talk and say things that seem like it is on the cusp of being progressive, right? AOC comes to mind. Some of these other fools come to mind that are on the left side that people vote for them. They vote for them because they like them, because they get cool burns. They get to go on the Breakfast Club, and they get to be popular and go on a the nighttime TV shows. What's crazy about it is that they wanted to use all of Trump's personality flaws, which admittedly we saw them. We all saw them. They want to use Trump's personality flaws and his some of his business practices. Y'all do know that before he ran for president, several years before that, he was a Democrat, and then he switched sides, and he was well liked and well loved by the entertainment industry. And he was in rap songs before he was attacked, before he became president, and before he became conservative. He was the darling of the left. He was one of the darlings of the left. Oprah loved him. All of these people loved him. Kind of like Kanye. But as soon as he became a candidate for the Conservative Party, and began to be serious that he had a chance to win, he wins the primary, which I didn't vote for him in the primary. I didn't. He wasn't my candidate. I didn't want Trump to win because of his personality issues, because of who he kind of was. And he, I voted for, what's his name? For the doctor. Okay, why does his name escape me right now? The black guy that's the doctor, brain surgeon, Ben Carson. I voted for him in the primaries. But Trump won, and partially because of his personality and his harshness or whatever, he won. Politics is a dogfight, and people don't desire to be the president because of they see what they end up going through. People don't. I must be honest. People don't want to put themselves out there like that unless they have a agenda in hand and they aggrandize themselves by becoming president. You see that happen with Bill Clinton. You see that happen with Bush. You see that happen with Obama, where they go in with a net worth of a certain amount and they leave way higher. They go in with a what up, Seiko, my brother. Somebody in here said that Navy picture you made you look like you had your 5-year-old Navy person with 60-year-old hands. I ain't saying who said it, but somebody said it. Glad to have you in here, man. We just saluted everybody that's in the was in the military, so thank you for your service. But we're talking about Trump. We're talking about Trump, and talking about how he was elected, and what caused him to be elected. Dan Brown is no longer a Christian. And what we're talking about is how we should deal with what's happening right now. So make a long story short. We all supported Trump. A lot of us supported Trump. A lot on the right, a lot of the conservatives, a lot of the Christians supported Trump based on his policies, not on his personality. And when he got into presidency, to our surprise, because we voted for him going, because the alternative was Hillary Clinton, right? And so we voted for him with the in our hearts. But to our surprise, he did a lot of things and went for a lot of things and worked in a lot of ways that made the country go up. I don't care what the Democrats try to tell you. When he was president, the first 2-3 years of the presidency, there was for help signs, for jobs everywhere. Everywhere I looked, literally everywhere I looked, I remember driving down the road and help wanted, help wanted, help wanted, help wanted, help wanted. Jobs were everywhere. Don't let them lie to you when they tell you that the tax cuts for the wealthy didn't do anything. It sure did. I remember it did a lot when we first got it. Let's not forget what happened. So along that, he's doing this thing and really, really pissing off the left, as y'all see. And from the very beginning till now, he's been attacked, one after the other, unprecedented. Every president, when they get into the office, should expect attacks. But can y'all remember Obama being attacked from every single side like Trump? Now, Bush, I'm old enough to remember Bush received a lot of attacks. But do y'all think that he received the same amount of attacks that Donald Trump did? Is it on the same level as Donald Trump? What do y'all think? I think, from what I've seen, that Trump has had the most attacks than anybody else, right? I believe that he's had the most jumped on his back about everything. The man could not move an inch without the left jumping on him. And the left had, they have the media, they have all the news, they have all the entertainment, again, on their side. And so they always jumping on him, left and right, not just him, his whole family. That's the difference. I don't think that Bush got as much personal attacks on his life and his family as Trump had. If y'all disagree, let me know. Exactly, Seiko. Obama never had a shoe thrown at him like Bush did. Y'all remember that when Bush had to dodge the shoe? That was like not hilarious, but it was like, what in the world are we doing? So to keep going here. So now fast forward to, keep that in your back pocket. All the attacks that have happened to him, that have been going on. And then all the attacks that have happened to him since then. Let's see, Dan, I think there's a perception gap as well. I do think Trump got jumped on a lot, but he also responded to most of them, if not all of them, whereas most power presidents didn't openly respond. Yeah, so that is true. And that's one of the reasons why they hated him, because he responded. See, you gotta, I've been following politics for a good minute. And one of the reasons why the Democrats and the liberal left have felt so free with doing whatever they want to do is because the Republicans for so long never fought back. They never said anything. They tried to, but it always fell short. The Republicans were Mitt Romney style Republicans. They were what's the guy that passed away a while ago? What is his name? Who said that Obama's a good dude when he was trying to go up against him and he died. Short dude. Y'all know who I'm talking about. His daughter was on The View for a little while. Those kinds of Republicans for so long were just like the people that would just take it. John McCain, right? They would just take it, take the attacks, the vitriol, and try to take a high road or whatever, and never fight back. I remember that very, very bluntly. Hallie, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. I remember that very bluntly. It was very, and so it used to frustrate the heck out of me. Like, it made us look so mamby-pamby and weak, and they would laugh, and that's why they're so smug. Obama was always so smug about how, and so when you get Trump in there, Trump is going to fight back. And maybe he went overboard, maybe he said things that, weren't presidential, but I could take that. A lot of us could take that because at least we had somebody that was willing to counterpunch. Y'all do realize that Trump never, and when he was in office, Trump never attacked anybody. He always counterpunched. They attacked him and his family, and he would counterpunch. And if you notice, he always would come out clean as a whistle every single time, but they would never stop. So fast forward till now. We just had our primaries, not primaries, our midterm elections. And, Trump is now hasn't been in office for a minute. I'm getting to that. Seiko, watch this. This is what I'm getting to. So he, the primary, or not the primary, the midterm elections have gone through, and Trump's not in office. Trump's not the president. Whether we believe that it was stolen from him or not, he's still not there. And they still haven't stopped attacking him. They still was trying to get at him. Man's not even in office and they're still getting him. So think about how this is building up, how this would build up in you, right? We're going to get to some stuff here. So now you have Ron DeSantis, who is now a rising star, and by all intents and purposes, like our best and brightest guy on the left. This dude takes it to him, just like Trump did, except without all the baggage. We see him now without all the baggage, right? He takes it to the left. Don't take nothing from the left, but without all the other baggage that Trump brings along with it. And he won by a landslide because of that in Florida. He won by a landslide. It was like unheard of. And so DeSantis, and there was another guy that won. I can't remember who he was. He said sometimes I think Biden's on methadone. Man, I think Biden is weekend at Bernie's. But so Trump now has been was doing his rallies, and now he's starting to say things and do things that are not good, man. That if we are who we say we are as believers and as conservatives, and we want to be consistent, we want to be consistent with what we're saying, with what we do. We say that we are for the policies, not the person, and we call balls and strikes. We don't ride with people when they're doing wrong, right? And so we have to, as much as we love Trump, as much as what we feel about him, we've got to say what's right. We've got to side on the side of right. And what he's doing now is detrimental, not detrimental, is bad. It's not good for our cause. He's going against Ron DeSantis, and he's calling Ron DeSanctimonious, and basically trying to take credit for Ron DeSantis's win, as well as what was the other guy? I can't remember the other guy's name that he tweeted about, that he tried to take credit for. And I don't know about you guys, but this just comes off. It doesn't just come off, but what it is petty, and it makes him look desperate, and it makes him look hurt because he's trying to take credit for something that he didn't. He just had kind of a hand. I don't know if you guys know, but like the polls have been, all the polls, nobody pays attention to polls anymore. And polls are not right. And the pundits and what they all have to say, and then endorsing people doesn't really do much anymore these days. It's what the people are going to vote for is what they vote for. And so Trump endorsed these guys, and a lot of the guys that Trump endorsed, some of the guys that Trump endorsed didn't win. But he's out here trying to take credit for what, and it makes him look bitter and angry and not putting America first, like he says. And for that, we need to really, think about it and call him on the carpet. If he continues down this road, we need to make sure that we, stay consistent. Again, we didn't vote for him as a pastor. We don't believe, he's not a someone to look up to for Christianity. But he's done. He did what he did, right? And so, sit down. My dog is acting silly. Sit down. Rest. She wants to get out, but she's going to cause a havoc. So, but here's what I'm trying to say. The Christian response. What should the Christian response be? Should we just like throw him out and say, you know what? You messing with Ron DeSantis. Now you out of pocket. I don't support you anymore. Or should we be like, ignore it altogether? Yeah, Lee Zeldin. he was trying to he endorsed Lee Zeldin, but he endorsed somebody else that did win, and he tried to take credit for him. But should we throw Trump out and now be like on to the next, on to DeSantis, like the world does, or should we ignore what he is seeming like beginning to do? Neither one. I submit we do neither one, because as believers, we have to side with truth. And also, the Bible tells us that we have to walk in love and act in love. And that gives people the benefit of the doubt. That means that we're able to see past what's going on and give honor where honor is due. I believe that if we as the right or as conservatives took a balanced view of this, what we would do is this. There'd be a concerted effort to say to Donald Trump, you deserve our honor for what you did, for what you put yourself through and still are going through. We honor you. We give you honor that is due to you. Thank you for putting yourself in harm's way, because as a party and as the right, if you hadn't been in there to be the battering ram, then who knows the state of the country, where the state of the country would be even now, because the left was steamrolling. We honor you. However, you've got to watch what you're doing. Donald, I believe it's time for you to retire, bro. Retire and enjoy your family. You did your job. You did it. You don't got to do nothing else. You're going to be 80 years old in 2024. Go rest, and let us take up the mantle and run. You did your job. As opposed to, you see that kind of an attitude, as opposed to saying, oh, you suck, you're terrible, oh, go sit down. Because I could imagine that man is probably feeling betrayed. Because if y'all think about this, almost every single person that was in his cabinet, except for his family, has turned on him. And he can't like know who to trust. Even Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, is not cool. And I got side eyes at even his daughter. So imagine the Imagine the intrepidation that he has, the suspicion that he has. And we know that he's not if he is a believer, we know he's not a mature one. So imagine that. And he's got no one around him that's telling him the right thing to do. His former VP, all these people, like, they just turned on him. And so imagine being surrounded by that and knowing what you put yourself through to be the president. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do it. You fought these battles. And now it's seeming like the mantle's being passed. It reminds me of Saul and David. And I'm praying for Donald Trump to not go down Saul's path. Because I'm not calling DeSantis David, but I'm just saying the analogy applies. Saul was king. Saul won battles for Israel. And then the people started to see David, Ron DeSantis, they started to see David and see what kind of warrior he is. And they're like, yeah, Saul won his thousands, but David's won his 10,000, tens of thousands. And then Saul got the jealous bug, got the evil bug. And Saul started chucking spears at David when he should have been supporting him. So I'm praying that there be some people around Trump that can bolster him up and say, hey, listen, brother, we appreciate what you did. You did an awesome job. And he's going to make it, and I have a feeling he's going to make an announcement tomorrow that he's going to run for presidency. And then all heck is going to break loose. He's going to, I really believe that he's going to start attacking, and it's going to backfire on him. I believe it's going to backfire on him. Because if you can get the fire and the fight of Donald Trump, but the statesmanship of, the statesmanship of a regular politician or whatever is what you have in Ron DeSantis, then why would we take somebody who has all the baggage pulled along with him? We wouldn't. Everybody's going to move to the younger, less risky, what do you call it? Ron DeSantis. Hallie, sit down. That's what they're going to do. So, and it breaks my heart, man. It breaks my heart because if he doesn't change or if he doesn't get some real good advice, and this is going to go against Trump's nature because Trump doesn't have an off button. And you're absolutely right, Seiko. Me too. If DeSantis runs, I'm voting for DeSantis. Not that I didn't appreciate what Trump did and what he's done and what he's meant to the Republican Party and the Conservative Party. However, I hope that he doesn't tarnish his reputation with the MAGA crowd. You know what I'm saying? The MAGA crowd, who we've been riding with him through everything, through the Russia collusion, through all of the stuff that he's come through, the Teflon Don has come through. But I believe, and I'm just going to say it, I believe his time is up, that the Trump era is coming to a close. And we as believers understand the concept of decreasing so others can increase. John the Baptist said he had to decrease so that Jesus could increase. And we understand as believers that our life is a life of decreasing anyway, that we decrease so Jesus can be magnified in our lives. So that's something that we are used to doing and having in our lexicon of words that we talk about with each other. But Trump, I don't think he has that. And then, like I said, it breaks my heart to know that he might really tarnish his image with us. The world, the left, well, who cares about what they think? Because they're going to think that he's just the evil devil anyway when they serve the devil. So I don't care about that, but I would not want him to tarnish his image with us, with those that supported him. And the way that he can do it is if he doesn't want to leave the stage. So, I think that it's not, it is a Saul David situation, and he has a choice to make. So in conclusion, not in conclusion, but I think that what we need to do is we need to take the high road and say to him in our posts or whatever, maybe some of the older more pundits can say the same thing. Listen, Trump, you did your job. Like, that's what we need to say to him. You did your job. Your job is over. You can sit down. You can chill. Yeah, right. What Trump did to Ted Cruz y'all remember that? Where he tried to say Trump's daddy and all that. Like, I'm not Trump, Ted Cruz's daddy and all that. Trump was gangster, man. He was gangster. But his time is done, man. Ted Cruz is a dude, man. Ted Cruz is that dude, y'all. Low key, Ted Cruz is a guy that has been steady and consistent for a long time. Says, do you really think he can win if there's a DeSantis versus Trump battle? I think DeSantis will wipe the floor with it, honestly. And so apparently, I'm reading here, Seiko has said that user here, Bobby Hesley, has a video that he did on Trump this past Friday. So y'all need to go check him out. Based on Seiko's word, I haven't seen it, so I'm going to check it out, but I'm going to go ahead and endorse it as well. Go ahead and check out Bobby's video. I'm going to go check it out myself. But I'm just saying we have to have, as believers, we can't do what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of conservatives now going in on Trump and turning on him and all of that. And even though he would probably deserve it, we as believers should have a balanced way of dealing with it. One, giving him honor where honor is due, and at the same time, encouraging him to move on off the stage. I believe that would be the godly thing to do about it. I mean, we're not sugarcoating anything. We need to say, hey, you did your job. Thank you. And we wouldn't have gotten here as a party and as a people without you standing in the gap. But now it's time for you to enjoy your family and then help us behind the scenes. Let somebody else take the load. I don't know if he's would accept that or not. I don't know if he's going to stop, because Trump doesn't have an off button, and this is where we will see like his actual personality come into play. And I just don't want him to unravel everything that he's done in our eyes. Does that make sense? Let's see. Do you really think, Pastor X says, do you really think if Trump gets abandoned that his base would follow? Or do you think DeSantis should wait for Trump to make that call? I don't think that, I don't know. I think it will take a little bit more of Trump going at DeSantis, unless he's able to bring out some big bombshell, something that can detract from DeSantis. But DeSantis is pretty strong right now, and only seems to be that he's going to get stronger and stronger. Who knows? DeSantis may not even run for president yet, or he probably will. Who knows? Who knows how things will shake out? But I'm just saying that if Trump continues on this road of attacking someone who is this popular, because remember when he was attacking, I don't know if y'all agree, but I don't think Ted Cruz was as popular as DeSantis is right now. You know, Ted Cruz is popular and a lot of people like him, but he just doesn't have that it factor that brings him over the top. Otherwise, he would have got the nomination and not Trump. But DeSantis seems to have that momentum, that nationwide momentum, right? So it remains to be seen what's going to happen. But I'm just saying, you know, you guys can tell me when it comes to this, how do you think we should handle if Trump continues on this road? Should we jettison him? Should people still ride with him? Or should we encourage him to kindly step off the stage? I think that, you know, it says Proverbs says Trump does not need the party to win. That's right. He doesn't need the party to win. But I think that the same people that would cause him to win, the rational people, because his radical base, the people that think Trump is Jesus, is not as big as all of us who are still like rational, you know. And again, Seiko again is right. If he's the only choice, if DeSantis decides not to run, you know, or, you know, someone super weak challenges Trump, whatever, on the right, then, you know, apples to apples, I'd have to vote for Trump again. You're absolutely right, Bobby Hesley. Trump needs to act like Elijah, and pass the mantle on to Elisha. If you want to use a biblical thing, that's great. That's actually a great point. So you see the juxtaposition here. You see, Saul did not recognize when his time was over and fought against passing the baton to David. Therefore, his kingdom was ripped from him, and nobody and his children died, and no one from him ever rose to power again. Or you have Elijah, who passed the mantle on to Elisha, where Elisha took it to here. And Elijah went up to be with God. So somebody needs to be in his ear and saying this. I don't want Trump to be made to look like an idiot, and I don't want him to make himself prove the left right about him. You know what I mean? That doesn't feel. As an older man and all that and everything that he's done and his craziness, but just because of what he's done and what he's the sacrifice that he's made, I want to be gracious towards him, and I hope the same happens. Y'all see, Candace Owens is now talking about it and how he was really rude to her and off of someone telling him something. And do y'all realize how much that has happened with Trump, where people have been in his ear that he trusted, that told him wrong information, or that have misled him, or that have, made him do or led him to do things or say things that weren't correct, and now they're turned around and they're jumping on his neck, or they're jumped shit. Imagine the suspicion he would have for everybody. And this dude's not a young dude, man. He's not a young guy. His youngest daughter just got married. So things like that he needs to be involved in. Get his Mar-a-Lago and all that back up to speed. Get his focus on his businesses. Be a kingmaker, so to speak, behind the scenes. But unfortunately, I don't think that Trump is going to do that. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he wasn't perfect. He did do things that I did not agree with. He supported the LGBTQ whatever to an extent. He made concessions for certain things that I wouldn't be cool with. And I believe that Ron DeSantis, as it stands now, wouldn't do some of the things or allow some of the things that Trump did. So do y'all think that that's kind of like a balanced sort of view of things? What do y'all think? Y'all think that if Trump decides to make his announcement tomorrow that he's going to run, that he's then going to go DEFCON on all the people that potentially are going to run? I mean, it's 2 years before 2024 hits. 2023 they're going to start up the cycle again and start campaigning. But DeSantis by 2024 won't be even finished with his term. So there's a lot up in the air. I'm just saying that as believers, we gotta not do things and not see things the way that others are. As harrowing as it is, as frustrating as Trump can be, we do need to recognize what has, and let him know that. I don't have the power to do that. If I did, I would. But I believe that it'd be great for some of the more powerful, influential conservatives would say that to him. Hey, bro, we appreciate what you did. We recognize it, because I think he's acting like a person that needs to be validated. He's acting like a person that doesn't think that people recognize or realize what he's done, what he put himself through, allowed to put himself through. So it's kind of sad in a way. It's sad in a way. I know he's probably feeling unappreciated because of all the attacks that he's surrounded with, and he loves the people, the base. But I don't think that, in his own mind, he realizes his importance. So I just see so many similarities with him and Saul. and I'm hoping that he makes the right decision. But I'm not positive that he will. You're right. I would be surprised if he said he wasn't running. You know, I know he's probably going to run, and what's more than likely going to happen, Occam's razor is the most simplest thing that could happen is probably what's going to happen. And so he's probably going to run, and he's probably going to go out and yickety yak everybody and try to. But I don't think it's going to work this time. Let's see what it says. If we were talking protocol, Trump decides and everyone follows that lead. Also, DeSantis has more time in Florida, and in 2028, it would be a wrap anyway. But if DeSantis goes now, it might backfire. True, it could backfire. It very well could. I just see how popular. Think about this. I lived in Florida for a long time. I lived in Florida for about 20 years. From high school, middle school, all the way to mid-20s. And Florida has been a Democratic swing state stronghold for a minute. And what DeSantis was able to do was nothing short of phenomenal. He turned that whole state red. That whole state, he turned it red. And I don't want to overstate his importance, overstate his abilities, whatever, as a politician, but he's pretty dang strong politician. Now, again, so Republican KKK lost the midterms. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Your name is appropriate, apropos. Your name is apropos. But he didn't, I don't want to overstate his power, overstate his influence. DeSantis, that is. But it's pretty dang strong. If it keeps going on the road that it's going, then it's going to be a very interesting thing because Trump does not back down from anybody, and neither does DeSantis. But you do notice DeSantis hasn't said anything back. He has not responded. It's like a rap battle. He hasn't responded. He hasn't put nothing on wax yet. Shots been fired, and this ain't the first time Trump has fired shots at DeSantis. But the reason why the reason why I'm saying that there's a possible backlash that would be worse for Trump is because you're now starting to see conservative pundits who were firmly in Trump's corner now beginning to waffle, now beginning to say things that Trump, maybe the era is over, and they're just now beginning to say this. So how things go. They just snowball and snowball and snowball. So it remains to be seen. But I think that we as believers, I want to encourage you guys. The Bible tells us to pray for our leaders. So I believe that the direction for us to pray for Trump at the moment, if you're going to pray for him, which you should be, I believe we should pray that he gets a godly influx in information, influence, and give him the ability to step to the side. You're right. His non-response is very powerful. See, this is why I'm like, man, DeSantis either has some people in here that's really good, that's advising him, or he just really knows what he's doing. Because the fact that he hasn't responded and been silent, as Bobby said, is the perfect response for Ron DeSantis. To not even respond. Because then it makes Trump look dumb, which it's doing, and it makes Ron DeSantis be in control of the conversation. Because now Trump it seems like if he keeps going on this road, Trump will continue to make himself look like a petty little child, nipping, when he should be the opposite, the other way around. He should be going, you know what, my time is done. But y'all need to, if he were to, imagine how powerful it would be if Trump were to say, listen, even if he didn't say he wasn't going to run, if he said, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to run or not. I don't know. I still might, but y'all, congratulations, Ron DeSantis, man. Look, he turned the whole state red. Man, y'all really need to check that dude out. I don't know what he's going to do. And if he comes up against me, it might be a fight. But y'all need to really, really check him out. I mean, if he were to kind of at least do that, then he could save face and still keep himself available to run. But at the same time, he's not looking like a hurt, bitter man by attacking the dude. And it's not just Ron DeSantis. It was, I can't remember the other guy. He attacked somebody else and tried to take credit for him winning. It wasn't Lee Zeldin. It was somebody else. But, you know, so that's what I believe. I believe we should be praying for him in that manner. I don't want to belabor the point, but I just wanted to get that out there. You know, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that that Trump should step to the side? You think that he should? This is a Saul Davis type scenario. You know, that's what it reminds me of. And I'm hoping that Saul doesn't end up falling on his own sword. It says, this is a case of Trump's petulant try-hard trolling versus DeSantis' savvy statesmanship. Exactly. It's like, put it this way. I made this analogy the other day. In order to break down, what do you do? Let me ask y'all this. When back in medieval times, when a castle had to be sieged, right? When they were trying to siege a castle or whatever, and they had the big, you see this in the movies all the time, they had the big gates, right? The big wooden gates or whatever. What did they attack the big gates with first? Somebody tell me in the chat, what did they attack the gates of a castle with first? Somebody put it in the chat. This is a Jeopardy time. What would medieval armies attack a very well fortressed castle, their front doors with? Does anybody know? You've seen it 1,000 times in the movies. They would attack them with a battering ram, right? Big old piece of wood, several men on it going, right? And they would batter the front door, batter it until it was weakened. And does a battering ram have to be precise? Does a battering ram have to be elegant? Does a battering ram have to be, what's the word? Pointed and sharp and yes, it was Youngkin. That's right, Kenya. It was Youngkin. He went all juvenile and said, "Doesn't Youngkin's name sound like an Asian name?" Like, come on, bro, come on. But anyway, does a battering ram? Y'all tell me, is a battering ram precise or is it a blunt object? Is a battering ram? What is it? What is it when something is polished? Or is it just that? A battering is blunt, right? And then what happens after the wall comes down, after you've weakened the wall? Then they come in, the army comes in with the infantry and the arrow shooting and all that. The more pointed, the more elegant, the more subtle, the more what's the word? I'm losing my words. More specific, right? And then that actually wins the battle. You have to have something that blows the door open and knocks the door down, and then you go in. You don't keep fighting with the battering ram. You put the battering ram down, and you go in with swords and bows and arrows and all of that. That's when you go in and do the elegant fighting. But you got to have something that's going to knock the wall down first. That was Trump. That was Trump for us. He was the battering ram. He was the battering ram that was used against the liberal, progressive mindset wall, strategic wall that has been erected in America, that all of us normal, sane people haven't had the ability in and of ourselves to break this wall down. But God, dare I say, God used a blunt object to shake the foundations of these walls. But now it's Trump's turn. Now I believe that coming up very soon. We got to put that blunt object down and go in there. Now, I'm going to tie some stuff in that y'all probably wouldn't have tied in. So Trump has been, do you guys agree? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that Trump has been a battering ram for the right and for conservatism and for Christians in the world. You believe Trump has been a battering ram. He's, saying things that are blunt, saying things that are offensive, saying things that are needed to be said, but people hate the fact that he said it. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe he was a battering ram. Put a 2 in the chat. Say what else you think he might have been if you don't believe he was a battering ram. I believe he was. He was a battering ram, and he went through boom, 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 and now you have coming behind him. Now watch this. Now, Seiko, you'll appreciate this. Coming behind him in the Black community and in the popular culture sphere as a battering ram, you have Kanye and even Kyrie, but mainly Ye. He is a battering ram to knock down and shake the foundations of an institution that erected itself to oppress, spiritually oppress, and mentally oppress Black people and the world at large. So you have Trump doing his battering ramishness for America as a whole and the world, believe it or not, standing up to to Kim Jong-un and going into North Korea, which, by the way, now they're shooting rockets everywhere because he's not president. And so he was a battering ram. Now you got Kanye West as a battering ram as well. And I see God doing something. But if we don't step off stage and allow the next generation to do what they got to do and come in and really like be the fine-tuned weapons to win these battles, then God will remove them. God will remove them. And so, because God is the one that puts the kings and rulers up and down. And so I'm just saying, I hope he doesn't ruin his reputation with those that supported him. That's what I'm hoping. You're right, Seiko. He had too many opportunists in his ear. Imagine that. Imagine going into just think about this for a second. And I'm not like I don't love Trump, and I don't know him. But imagine, Seiko, imagine going to your job, or any of you guys going to your job where you can't trust anybody, or going to a family reunion, or leading a family, and nobody in your family you can actually trust. Not because you're being paranoid, but because they've shown you that you cannot trust them. Imagine being in that environment. And then on top of that, every big conglomerations coming at you, attacking you from every which way Sunday. Wouldn't that have an effect on you? Wouldn't that have an effect on how you see people in the world and things around you? Wouldn't you be suspicious of stuff? Yet without Jesus and the leading of the Holy Spirit, and First Corinthians, love conquering all and doing what's right in spite of what you feel, because that's what governs us. Without that, you would attack people too. I mean, it happens. You would verbally lash out when you don't need to, if that was the situation. So I'm just saying we gotta have some understanding, but at the same time, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We have some understanding, but at the same time, try to help usher him off the stage. Love Trump, loved him as far as politics is concerned for what he's done, but he's showing signs that maybe his time is finished. He's completed his race on the public sphere, and now we need to pray for him to have a true, real encounter with the saving grace of Jesus, and that his final years on the planet are spent serving God with all his heart, soul, mind, and strength, as opposed to the fate of Saul. The fate of Saul. So I don't know. That's all I had to talk about. I just thought it was important enough for us because I see it on the horizon. I do see correlations between, in the spirit, correlations between what is happening in the black community and what has already happened with Trump. Because before Trump, uh, there were a lot of conservatives that were afraid to fight back. They were afraid to see and acknowledge the junk, because the liberals have been doing this for years and years and years. And before Trump got up there and said, nah, you know, if it was up to me, Hillary, I'd throw you in jail. He said that on national television. I mean, y'all remember that? He said that on national television. And, that kind of thing gave people the impetus. I believe without a Trump, there wouldn't be a DeSantis in the way that he is now. However, it's time for him to roll. I believe it's time for him to roll. Love him to death, but it's time for him to roll. I hope he doesn't keep on down this road. But if he does, we got to side with what is right. We got to side with the country is not smaller than any man. And God is not smaller than any country. So share this video. Throw some likes in there. Let me know. What are some of y'all's thoughts on these things? You guys have any other thoughts on these? Any other thing that you're thinking about this particular subject? I want you guys to know that I am editing a podcast that we did where we talked in length about Kanye and his effect on the church. It's going to be a 3-part series. I did one by myself. I did another podcast with somebody else, and then I'm going to do a third one with Seiko and some other brothers coming up very soon. And we're going to talk about, because I really believe that there's a lot deeper things going on with this Ye stuff and Kyrie that we're not really realizing, that there's things that God is allowing to happen, that God is causing, and the black community as a whole is now being forced to be at a crossroads. And I don't want to spoil what we're going to say, but all I need y'all to do is go ahead and watch. If you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and watch Uncle Tom 2. Put a 1 in the chat for those that seen it already. Uncle Tom 2. And Seiko, if you've seen it, some of you guys, do y'all see the connection between Uncle Tom 2 and now what we're seeing happen and what Kanye has been talking about? You see the connection there? There's a connection there. If you haven't, I'm telling y'all, God's doing something. God is giving us a chance as the black community to really come up out of some stuff and take our place, or go back to Egypt, go into Egypt. So, I don't want to spoil what it's about, but the third one, I'm going to be hitting you up, Seiko, pretty soon here. And maybe we can even get Corey in as well. We're going to do the third part of this thing. But once I get it edited, I want you guys to check it out. I'm going to be premiering it this week. And I had it was me, and then I had the national director, the Georgia representative for the national organization, which is the Frederick Douglass Foundation, representative here in Georgia, was on the podcast along with some other guys, and we chopped it up. So like I said, it's a 3-part thing. I got the first one that I already put up. Then the second one is going to be with these guys, and then the third one is going to be with Seiko and some other people. So check that out. Go look up was it again Uncle Tom 2. Bruh, I'm telling you, that is going to shake your man. I'm telling you, they're saying things on there that I have been wanting to say for years. So love y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed that. And go ahead and like and subscribe and follow my channel. Next year, we have some great things cooking up. If you don't know already, we're going to be doing ChristCon 23, where we're bringing together some great speakers, where we're going to be dealing with rebuilding the walls of righteousness in the church so that we can properly represent Christ in the public square. If we don't deal with what's going on in the church at the moment, then we will never be able to properly represent the kingdom in the public square. because they will always be able to turn around and point at what the junk that we're allowing. So we're going to deal with that next year. We're bring together a lot of people, a lot of great speakers. Seiko is going to be there to speak. I'm about to confirm some other speakers. I know that Lucas Miles is going to be there for sure. And we have a couple other people that we're praying for to get. Y'all pray with me. I'm trying to get some of my friends that I know of. What's his name? Michael Francis. He is a former mob boss who is Christian all the way and conservative as well. I might be able to get him to come and speak. I'm looking at another pastor named Russell Johnson to try to come and speak. And I might be able to get, y'all remember the dude, put a 1 in the chat if y'all remember a guy named Rico Suave, or the song Rico Suave. Rico Suave. Y'all remember that? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember. With the hair and all that. Well, that dude is a born-again, fire-branded believer who is a pastor and has been a pastor for a while in Kentucky. And he's actually happens to be a good friend of mine. I actually was played on or rapped on one of his last English albums. And I played drums for him when we went on tour in Ecuador years and years ago. And he just confirmed with me yesterday that he would love to come. So we have to work out details. So he was on television recently with Wife Swap or whatever it is. But he has a church in Kentucky that's pretty large, pretty good church, good sized church, and doing well. And so he told me yesterday that he would love to come next year. So we're going to try to work out details and have him come. So it's going to be shaping up. We're shooting for a pretty large budget this year. The enemy is attacking like always, but that's what he's going to do. And we don't shrink back. Did Marcus run? You got jokes, Proverbs 17. You got jokes. You got jokes. That is almost offensive. To even think that is almost like makes me want to kick something. Heck to the no. Marcus Rogers will never step foot in my convention that God has given me to steward over. That brother, and I use the word brother in the terms of black person, not brother as far as believer. That like threw me for a loop, Proverbs. So anyway, love y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed everything. Make sure you go and check out Bobby Hesley's channel. Make sure you go and check out the BCV podcast. Please go and check those things out because God is doing some stuff through both of those brothers. And, Seiko and I are hooked up and doing some things together. I love that brother. And he's a very strong, not just he can be a battering ram, but he's also a very intricate weapon used for the kingdom, as I could say. So he's both. So you would do yourself a favor by following those cats. All right. So love y'all. Oh, and by the way, if you have not gone to the Christocrats website, go there, thechristocrats.org, and throw your email in there so we can keep you up to date on what's going on. And if you're not able to get to the convention, we can give you the links to stream it next year. And we're going to be featuring stuff on there. And if you have ministry ideas or whatever, hit me up because I'm here to connect the body of Christ. So anyway, it's been an hour. That's what I think about the Trump thing that's going on. Check out the podcast coming up. Love y'all, and y'all have a good night. Oh, share this video. Share the video out and like it, and go Giants. I'll see you later.